Hello everyone, this is part 32 of What If Naruto Had Two Bloodlines, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Naruto had been giving his all but was still struggling to get this jutsu right. Yuki wanted to help but Naruto wanted to figure it out on his own. Sashi, Hinata, and Shizune just watched as he tried, and tried again. On the last possible training day, Yuki and Hinata were awoken by the sound of destruction. A tree had been nearly decimated by Naruto. So, in this third stage, you have to unleash all 100% of what you have learned previously and hold it. You have to bring out the chakra's rotation and power to its full extent and still compress the chakra inside of the balloon with the image of making another layer within the balloon. I know all of this and yet, no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to be able to focus 100% of the power in a nice ball. Naruto was ready to collapse. He could hardly stand, much less move. I guess that's all for today. It's a shame too, it looked like he was getting so close. Hinata, no, he isn't done yet. What are you saying? He can't even get to his feet. It's an impossible task to complete this technique in only 1 week, I should know. I think Naruto is great and all, hell I know it, but Hinata, you shouldn't doubt him. He may have failed many times already but he won't give up so easily. You'll see. How? Naruto was still weak but he wouldn't give up now. He picked himself up and gave it another try and Naruto, Rasengan. He destroyed the base of the tree and caused it to fall over. He also succeeded in depleting all the chakra he could use, fainting in the process. I don't believe it, did he just? Hinata, Naruto. Hinata ran to find Naruto as he disappeared in the rubble of the former mighty oak. Snapping back to reality, Yuki joined in the search. They found him pinned under the tree he had just destroyed. It was too heavy for them to move alone, but luckily Shizune had been checking up on them and gave them a hand. It was now night and Jiraiya was having drinks with Tsunade once again. This time, instead of just hanging out and keeping her company, he intended to get to the bottom of things, and remind her of what was truly important. She soon left him at the bar to check on Naruto's progress. Back at the room, Yuki, Hinata, and Shizune watched over a now resting Naruto. Yuki got up and Hinata was curious to know where she was going. I'll be back, I have to go to the bathroom. As she left, Shizune noticed that Hinata wasn't looking too good. Her eyes changed from whitish lavender to a sparkling amber. Hinata began to mumble something about danger and disaster, then, she passed out. 1. Shizune immediately rushed to her aid and checked her vitals. They were returning to normal and it appeared that there was nothing wrong but she would stay to make sure. She picked her up from across Naruto and placed her on the other bed. Not long after, Tsunade arrived. Shizune, he's all tired out, his right hand is burned pretty badly by the chakra, at this rate, he may not wake up until sometime next week, after. Tsunade, Jiraiya was right, for me to be making such a ridiculous bet, hey, for me to become so passionate, how stupid of me. Shizune, Lady Tsunade, tomorrow, please don't go. Please, answer my request, if you say you're going. Tsunade, what will you do? Shizune, even if it costs me my life, I will stop you. Tsunade, Shizune, just who do you think you're talking to? Tsunade made her way by Shizune who, before she knew it, felt a pain in her stomach. She doubled over and passed out from it. Tsunade left and shortly after, Yuki came from the bathroom. To her surprise, everyone was asleep, or so she thought. What the hell? Why is everyone sleeping? Why is Shizune sleeping on the floor? What happened while I was in the bathroom? Jiraiya awoke the next morning feeling weird. It wasn't like a hangover weird, but a not being able to move kind of weird. Orochimaru and Kabuto were making their way to the rendezvous point to await Tsunade's decision. Seeing that it would be troublesome if some kind of interference was allowed, Kabuto was told to dispose of Tsunade's assistant, Shizune. Shizune awoke to the sounds of Naruto, Yuki, and Hinata. Naruto and Yuki tried to wake her while she could hear how worried Hinata was. When she realized that Naruto was up and about after she was sure that he wouldn't be for a couple of days, she frantically tried to get up and see if Tsunade had gone through with Orochimaru's plan. Yuki explained that Shizune had only been out for one night. Relieved, she was surprised to see that Naruto had recovered so quickly, but there was no time to waste. She rushed and opened the window, but a kunai came streaking by. She looked to where it came from and there stood Jiraiya. Wait, Shizune, damn that Tsunade. She put drugs in my drink, I can't release chakra well and my body is in pain. I figured that this may happen one of these times and tried to warn you about your nights. Naruto, and you'll want to always brag about what an incredible ninja you are, you lame ass. Jiraiya, shut up. Even in her fallen state, Tsunade is still one of the world's best medical specialists. She's about the only one who can create a tasteless, odorless drug to use against other ninjas. As he finished downing a glass of water, he and Naruto noticed that someone had been nearby. Naruto was about to give pursuit, but Jiraiya silently directed him not to. Jiraiya, Shizune, what did you talk with Orochimaru about? It's about time you told us. Shizune, I wanted to believe in Lady Tsunade, that's why I didn't want to say anything, but. As they hurried to where she and Tsunade had encountered Orochimaru, Shizune told of what was discussed. Hopefully, they would make it in time. Orochimaru, the answer is, Tsunade, I will heal your arms, in exchange, leave the village alone. Orochimaru agreed and made his way to Tsunade, who was holding an orb of glowing chakra between her hands. Orochimaru was about to place his hands inside but was stopped by a kunai thrown by. Orochimaru, Kabuto, what is the meaning of this? To come so far, and betray me, Tsunade. How could you come to an answer like this, to try and kill me? But I trust you, Kabuto, from the bottom of my heart. Your loyalty, and the ability to see Tsunade's attack. Kabuto, yes, we both have a background in the medical field, so I could tell by the concentration of her chakra, she intended to kill you. Orochimaru, and I really did intend on reviving those two, Tsunade, I even promised not to touch the leaf. Tsunade, hey, Orochimaru, I know that you not touching the leaf was a lie. I knew that, but those two, even for just one more time, even for one more time, I wanted to see them, even for just one more time, I wanted to touch them, even for just one more time, I wanted to see their smiling faces, but, I realized to myself, that I'm a total fool. Those two's faces, from just remembering them, for me to become this blind, I loved them. Because of that, I wanted to see and hug them. But I couldn't, because of that brat, because I now remember the dreams of those two, I had tried to forget. Tears were pouring down Tsunade's face as she remembered her loved ones and their once forgotten dreams. Tsunade, the dream that those two bet their lives on, having those dreams come true was also my wish. All things that have shape eventually decay, you've said that, but, only this feeling, will not decay. Orochimaru, so the deal is off, no choice then, but to force you to do it. Tsunade wiped the tears from her eyes and let off a little steam by seeing the ground. Orochimaru and Kabuto retreated to higher ground as Tsunade's insane power sped the ground apart. Orochimaru, now that I think about it, I realize that I have never fought against you before. Tsunade, that's true, this will be the first, and last. Tsunade pulled off her jacket and charged. Kabuto, I wonder how you could say that when it's me who has to fight her. Tsunade, you bastards, I'll kill you here and now. The two jumped off of the top of the wall they were standing on and retreated further away from the castle. Tsunade easily destroyed the wall and gave chase. Orochimaru, you should be careful, even one hit can end your life. Kabuto, yes, I can tell, we should find another area to continue this. There was also someone with Tsunade's assistant who worries me, we don't know when he might show up and lend her a hand. Orochimaru, who is it? Kabuto, he's one of your kind, one of the 3 legendary ninjas. Orochimaru, Jiraiya. Wide grin appearing on his face. Jiraiya and his group arrived on the scene of what looked like a bomb had gone off. Everything around had been said and rubble was everywhere. From the looks of things, everyone could figure out who was responsible for such a thing. Finding Tsunade's jacket, the group set off to find her with the help of Tsunade's pig, Tonton. Both Tsunade and Kabuto were becoming tired as the entire surrounding area had been devastated by their fight. The mountain clearing had been transformed into a valley of craters. Seeing that Tsunade appeared to be a bit tuckered out, Kabuto thought that this was the perfect time to use a soldier pill to reinvigorate his lost stamina. He cycled through hand seals and his hands began to glow with chakra. Tsunade, so this guy also knows medical ninjutsu. Kabuto disappeared and reappeared from the ground underneath Tsunade. To avoid it, she jumped into the air and countered with a downward punch. Kabuto quickly got out of the way of the punch, but he had to remain on the defensive as the attacks kept coming. He was now between a rock and a hard place as Tsunade continued. She tried to kick his head off, but he ducked as the giant stone behind him was turned to dust. He took this opportunity to make his move. He placed his hands on Tsunade's right arm and leg. He hit her other limbs as well before backing away to a safer distance. Kabuto, I've cut your biceps and abdomen muscles. You won't be able to use your monstrous strength. Tsunade, chakra scalpel, but why aren't you aiming for my arteries? Kabuto, certainly with my chakra scalpel, I could have severed all your muscles and blood vessels. However, during a fight, I can't maintain one long and precise enough to penetrate all the way to your arteries and heart muscles. Well, either way, as long as I aim for your N, there shouldn't be a problem. He charged and connected with a palm to Tsunade's chest. This caused her to feel a shortness of breath and continue to have respiratory problems. Tsunade, this boy is no ordinary medical ninja. His senses and strength may exceed even my own in my prime. Kabuto, it would be troublesome if you were to S now, so I won't aim for your N, but you won't be able to move around. As he was adjusting his glasses, he was surprised by Tsunade. She delivered a chop to the back of his N and to the ground. Kabuto, I see, she isn't the run-of-the-mill shinobi. An average person would just suffer and not be able to move at all. Did it not penetrate deep enough because of all the fat in her big BS? Tsunade collapsed to her knees, still struggling to properly breathe. Kabuto, it seems that I have to take this more seriously. If I could go on and K her, then it wouldn't be as much of a problem, but... Kabuto noticed that something was askew. Whenever he tried to move a certain body part, a completely different one would move instead. With Kabuto incapacitated at the moment, Tsunade delivered a punch with all of her might. The force of it sent Kabuto skidding across the terrain. Orochimaru, her attack didn't K him. Kabuto was still suffering from the effects of Tsunade's attack to his nervous system. Tsunade explained that she had changed her chakra into electricity and sent the electric waves into Kabuto's nervous system. Since the communication between the brain and body are carried out through electrical pulses, this spelled trouble for Kabuto. His body was now confusing the signals from the brain. This free time gave Tsunade the chance to recover. She healed the damage done to her respiratory system. She was about to move on to her muscles, but before she could. Kabuto, don't think that with this level of technique you'll be able to defeat me. Kabuto quickly pulled out a kunai and showed that he wouldn't be slowed down by Tsunade's technique. Tsunade, what? He already figured out how to control his body. This boy is no ordinary ninja. Kabuto, you're afraid of blood, right? I'll show you some right now. I'll scatter just enough blood until you're at the brink of death. Tsunade prepared herself as he attacked, but he backed off as his target was covered by the smoke from a smoke bomb. When it cleared, before Kabuto stood Jiraiya and the others. Orochimaru, long time no see, Jiraiya. Jiraiya, hey, I see you haven't changed a bit, you've still got those weird eyes. Kabuto, Naruto. Hinata, it's Naruto. Kabuto, I didn't believe it, or maybe I just didn't want to. That was you spying on us back at the hotel. Jiraiya, so you know who this guy is. Tsunade, move. Tsunade knocked Jiraiya over trying to get to Kabuto. You know this guy, Naruto. You should tell her before it's too late. Naruto, why is he here? And why is that Grandma Tsunade fighting with him? What's going on here? The two continued to fight while Naruto questioned why Kabuto was there, why he was fighting Tsunade, and what he had to do with all of this. Jiraiya and Shizune answered his questions by pointing out Kabuto's headband and that he was with Orochimaru when they had met. Kabuto began to lose his footing and created an opening. Tsunade attacked, but Kabuto quickly readied his kunai and blood splattered all over the ground. Kabuto winces, my body has finally started to return to normal. It's bad for even me to go against two of the three great ninjas. I'll just have to put this fight off until later. Tsunade was now covered in Kabuto's blood as he had espered his hand. She freaked out and shakily tried to back away, but Kabuto wouldn't let her off that easy. With one punch he knocked her back into the waiting arms of Shizune. Naruto saw this and began to growl at Kabuto's actions. He looked right back at him and smirked. Kabuto, you don't belong here, Naruto. You aren't on our level, and you probably won't even reach it, but you know who has a chance, Sasuke. You on the other hand can't compare. Shine from glasses hides his eyes while he smirks. Naruto was beginning to become angry, and he wasn't the only one. Kabuto could see it in the eyes of Hinata and the unknown girl as well. It was just a matter of pushing the right buttons before one reacted and he got another chance to eliminate another nuisance. Kabuto, Naruto, I've concluded something from your data, as well as yours, Hinata. Of all those I've come across, you two have absolutely no talent in becoming shinobis. Hinata looked like she wanted to cry while Naruto looked at her and what Kabuto had done to Tsunade. You. What the hell would you know? I don't know exactly what they're capable of, but these two have shown me that trying is its own reward. I'm nothing but a big scaredy cat, but if you talk about them like that again, I'll fight you. Jiraiya, hey, okay, calm down you, don't get yourself all riled up. Naruto, no, she's right, there's no way you're getting away with what you've done. Naruto charged and Jiraiya tried to stop him but couldn't, due to his body still being in bad shape. Naruto, that hand, he should have trouble using his right hand. Naruto created 3 clones and attacked Kabuto, who quickly swung his right and flung blood into the eyes of the Narutos. This slowed him down enough for Kabuto to eliminate one of them by tossing another into him. He went for another but it wasn't going to be as easy. Even though they couldn't see, they were still fighting back. How is he able to fight when he can't see? Jiraiya, he has an ability to sense chakra and where it comes from, he must be using this ability as best he can, but with his predicament, there's still one way to counter this. Naruto and his clone was giving Kabuto some trouble but not enough to seriously worry him. Kabuto was trying to keep them off of him but any time he would throw a punch or kick, they would avoid it and attack. It wasn't until he managed to cut one that he realized the weakness of Naruto's ability. Kabuto, I see. Kabuto threw a couple of shuriken at the one he had cut. Naruto had blindly run into them and his clothes were torn. Naruto, what just happened? Kabuto, I got you. He lunged at Naruto trying to get to him before the other could intervene. To the horror of everyone else, Kabuto drove his kunai right into Naruto's chest. Blood began to ds from the wound as he shoved it further into Naruto. Kabuto, see, what did I tell you? You're nothing more than a bug, and now you're in the way, so, just s. Naruto, oh, yeah, I'll show you, who's the bug, idiot. Naruto grabbed Kabuto's hand and held on tight. The other Naruto rushed in from behind and slashed through the other with 2 kunai. Kabuto jumped back just in time to keep from being cut in half, like his shirt, but he didn't escape completely unharmed. There was also blood seeping from 2 shallow slash marks across his abdomen. No longer in the mood to play, and since Naruto was still having trouble seeing, Kabuto pulled out a number of shurikens and kunais. Without warning, he hurled them all at the handicapped Naruto. Blood hit the ground as they hit. Kabuto was surprised as Shizune made her own move. From her mouth she spit quite a few needles. Kabuto still didn't have complete control of his body and had no way of avoiding the sudden attack. All he could do is put his head down and hope for the best. The plate on his headband had deflected the needles and saved Kabuto. He quickly backed off, leaving Naruto in the care of the other meddlers. Shizune approached Naruto and wiped the blood from his eyes. When he opened them, he could see that Yuki had jumped on top of him to protect him from the surrounding ninja tools. He could also see that Hinata was in front of them. She had her hands in front of her and there was something out in front. Naruto, hi, Hinata, you helped me too. She turned around to him and smiled. She put her hands down and the circular-shaped object disappeared. He got up and as they made their way back to Jiraiya and Tsunade, he couldn't help but notice that Hinata was cringing with every step. She had taken damage from that attack and had cuts on her legs. Naruto, are you okay, Hinata? Hinata, me. Oh, yes, I'm just fine. Naruto, what was that you used to protect us? Hinata, it was a technique my mother taught me, to protect myself. It's able to block and deflect attacks. I just now got it as big as it was. It's supposed to be bigger, but. Naruto, well, it was really cool how you jumped in and helped me thanks. Hinata blushes, you're welcome, Naruto. Hey, you're gonna thank her but not me, that's cold you know, I jumped out there and used my body as a shield before I even knew she could do that, but do I get a thank you? No. Crosses arms and pouts. Naruto, alright, quit your complaining, thanks. That's all I ask for, you're very welcome, still pouting but now blushing. Jiraiya, alright you three, enough of that, we're in a serious situation, so get ready. Kabuto took out another pill and ate it. Shizune could see that it was to clot his blood. He was a medic ninja like her. They then noticed that Orochimaru was removing the bandages over his left arm. What could he be up to? Jiraiya, Shizune, you handle 4 eyes, I'll take care of Orochimaru, but, before that I would like Tsunade to do something about my body. Shizune, I'm sorry but, this effect will probably last a few more hours. I myself can't do anything about it. Jiraiya, HMPH, well, I guess there's nothing we can do, we have to do it like this. Naruto cleared his tea to get Jiraiya's attention. Naruto, what about us? Jiraiya, you protect Tsunade and her pig. Naruto, what? Are you kidding? I can fight. Jiraiya, no. Like the guy in the glasses said, they're on an entirely different level. The enemy is like me, one of the 3 ninjas, plus he ked the 3rd Hokage. An eye for an eye. Only I can take him. Naruto, all the more reason for me to help. He ked my grandpa so now he's gonna pay, besides, you can barely move in your condition so you might need some help. I was holding back earlier and if you give me the chance I could. Jiraiya, I told you no. You should forget revenge, it only causes trouble for others. Kabuto swiped blood from his wound and slated it across Orochimaru's exposed tattoo. Jiraiya bit his thumb and at the same time they cast a summoning jutsu. Shizune, Master Jiraiya is still affected by the poison, he can't control his chakra well. Orochimaru, your stupidity still hasn't been cured, Jiraiya. Then I will attack first. On Orochimaru's side appeared a pair of giant snakes and on Jiraiya's, a little red and black frog by the name of Gamakichi. Orochimaru, although you have no talent, this isn't like you. Seems like Tsunade added her own little contribution, he. Kabuto, since AS was required for the jutsu, perhaps she was thinking of the future. It seems that she gave you medicine suppressing your strength, probably for the sake of sacrificing you. Naruto, although he's a big pervert, it pisses me off to see him insulted. Orochimaru, pathetic as always, now S. The snakes launched their first attack just as Naruto finished his seals. He managed to place his hand and summon something before the snakes could stop him. The attack of the snakes blew Naruto back so he couldn't see what he had summoned. He was anxious for the dust to clear so that he could see but when it did, there was nothing there. Naruto, what happened? I know I had to have summoned something. Just then, something had fallen on his head. He grabbed it and it was a little yellow frog that introduced himself as Gamatotsu. Seeing that Naruto's attempt was a bust, Orochimaru and Kabuto had their snakes attack again. Everyone jumped out of the way and were separated. Shizune had Tsunade with her but was caught off guard by Kabuto. He jumped from his snake and knocked her from the air to the earth. His snake focused on Naruto and the animals. It opened its jaws wide in an attempt to eat them all in one bite. Before the snake could, however, Naruto pushed the animals out of harm's way as the snake's mouth slammed shut. Naruto. With a snake on his tail, Jiraiya didn't have time to worry about others. Jiraiya, Earth-style, Swamp of the Underworld. Both snakes became stuck in Jiraiya's attack. Not being able to move or risk sinking further, the snakes were now helpless themselves. Jiraiya, I can't sink them with such a small swamp. The drug's effect still hasn't worn off. Naruto was forcing the snake's mouth open when Hinata and Yuki ran up. He had finally gotten himself free but the snake wasn't done yet. Using his head as a battering ram, the snake knocked Naruto and the girls into a big stone that momentarily knocked him out. In doing this, the snake completely sunk into the swamp. Using the same technique he did against Tsunade, Kabuto had managed to disable Shizune. He had grabbed a hold of her and cut the tendons in her ankles. He kicked her aside and then turned his attention to Tsunade. He approached her and began to kick her while she was defenseless. Naruto regained consciousness and picked himself up. Orochimaru, ha ha ha, for someone who was known as the Wildman of the Leaf Village, you have surely dropped that to watch over a foolish little brat like him. My ability to discern talent is second to none. From my eyes, that child is nothing special. All he has working for him is his genetics and he can't even utilize that correctly. Jiraiya, hey, that's why I don't need a kid like that Uchiha, because there's no fun in teaching someone that learns everything so quickly. Orochimaru, he, is it because you see your former self in him that you can't let him go? That boy can't rival the heir to the Uchiha, blessed with the pinnacle of shinobi bloodlines, the Sharingan. Naruto is simply not gifted with that talent. A ninja's ability comes from whether or not they are able to master all the jutsu that exists in this world. Ninja, as its title suggests, indicate those who are capable of using ninjutsu. Jiraiya, hey, after all these years, your eyes are still clouded. A shinobi's talent is nothing of the sort. A ninja is a shinobi that can endure. Let me teach you one thing, the true quality of a shinobi is not in the number of jutsu or amount of talent one possesses, what is important is the determination to never give up. Kabuto was tired of playing with Tsunade and decided to deliver the knockout blow. What he wasn't counting on, however, was how tough Naruto was. Before he knew it, Naruto had stepped between him and Tsunade. Kabuto's punch landed on Naruto's forehead protector and blood streamed from it. Naruto, now I'll put an end to this. Naruto began to gather chakra and shape its form. He attacked but Kabuto avoided it by shifting to the side. He then used his chakra scalpel on Naruto's leg. Kabuto, hey, what's this? A new technique. Doesn't matter, you can't hit me in your current condition. By your erratic movement, I could tell that you already had broken ribs and just now I put a crack in your right femur bone. Naruto, crap. This really sucks. I can barely move and if I can barely move, there's no way of me hitting him with my attack. What can I do? If I could grab a hold of him that would solve the problem of him being too fast for me to get him, but I have to use both hands for my jutsu. I don't think I can complete it with just one. Kabuto, hey, are you afraid of me? Do you feel like running away? You're nothing special, Naruto. You should run, if you can still move. It was luck that you became a genin, but with your exceptional spirit, it would be fitting for you to become Hokage, but for that you can't be so cowardly. Now, do you think you could possibly become something like that? If you wanted to grow up to fulfill your dreams, it'd be best if you ran. Under these circumstances, you should just quit. A person should run away when they feel like it. With no response, Naruto just glared at him. Kabuto, no, what's with those eyes? That'll get you ked. If you's here, you'll never attain your dreams or anything else. For a kid like you I think the decision is pretty simple, so if you can speak so calmly about a dream like that, you can't run away. Naruto refused to run and tried to get up, but before he could Kabuto began to kick him around. No matter how much Kabuto beat him, Naruto continued to try and get back up. Kabuto, why don't you just S? Naruto, I'm not S yet, and I won't S until I've accomplished my goal. That's my way of the ninja. Hinata regained consciousness in time to see Naruto getting knocked around by Kabuto a little more. In pain, she got up and slowly made her way over to them. Tsunade, why are you? Naruto, Grandma Tsunade, you remember our bet, now you'll have to give me that stupid unlucky lace of yours. He picked himself up for the umpteenth time after the umpteenth knockdown. He then created a clone and Tsunade, run away Naruto. If you'll never accomplish your dreams or anything else. Kabuto charged and Tsunade continued pleading for Naruto to run away, but he stood his ground. Kabuto lunged at him with a kunai aimed for his heart. Blood sped to the ground and Tsunade began to freak out even more at the sight. Kabuto was surprised that Naruto hadn't at least gone down after his attack, but Naruto stood firm. He had grabbed a hold of Kabuto's hand with it cutting it ever so slightly. Kabuto tugged and pulled trying to free himself from Naruto's GS, but try as he may he couldn't get away. Naruto, time to get serious now. Kabuto could tell that Naruto meant what he had said. He also realized that when Naruto said this, he unwrapped his tail from his waist. Remembering back to when Naruto had fought the Sound Nins and anyone else during the Chunin exams, he knew that if he didn't get away he was in for it. He tried to pull away from Naruto's GS, he tried to pry himself away by pushing off with his feet, he even tried to drag Naruto but nothing seemed to work. Naruto, you won't be able to escape from this one. With a devilish grin on his face, Naruto held out his hand and his clone began to shake the chakra in his hand. Kabuto, the chakra is moving just like before, no. Tsunade, the clone is focusing the weight of chakra on his hand. Naruto, now that it's focused, this is the end for you. Tsunade, impossible. Kabuto, wah. With one hand, Naruto jerked Kabuto towards him and right into his attack. Naruto, RRRRAASENGAAN. The new technique's impact swept Kabuto off of his feet and violently whirled him through the air. This continued until he recklessly crashed into a big stone that barely managed to stop him. Jiraiya and Orochimaru looked on in astonishment as Kabuto was sent screaming across the terrain. They weren't the only ones that were amazed by this incredible feat. Tsunade, how could he? He actually mastered the Rasengan in just a week. Hinata was also happy that Naruto had finally completed his new jutsu, but not for long, as she began to get a bad feeling. Her whitish lavender eyes flashed a ruby red as she had another premonition. 1. Hinata grunts, groans, deaths, winces in pain while holding head, eyes return to normal. X. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.